Good morning and happy Sunday. Today's blog is going to be about your friends who are toxic people. I know you've had toxic friends in your lifetime, and God knows I have too. And usually at the end of the day, they no longer are your friends because of what they do, not only to you, but to the people who you love. And they always put you down. And that's not okay. Friends should not be doing that. There was this great article online from markandangel.com about the signs of what a toxic friend is. Now, these toxic people, they complicate your life, and they're more than a nuisance. They are a real pain in the ass, and they're parasites. Your time, which is precious to you, slips away as you deal with their negativity and their bullshit, and you're left wondering why you feel so drained and why you're even friends with these people to begin with. Now, if you're ready to simplify your life, you can't condone these toxic friendships in your life any longer. So here are some signs that I think could be helpful to you. Number one, this is what toxic friends do. They drain you. They drain you psychologically and emotionally. That's what I would call basically the same aspects of a psychic vampire. They feel more energized when they can emotionally and psychologically drain somebody else. And also, another term for it is called emotional blackmail. Real friends are supposed to listen to you. And when you talk to those friends, you are supposed to feel uplifted. You're supposed to feel better about yourself. You're not supposed to feel like crap. And if that friend is doing that to you, more than likely they are toxic. Number two, they are very unsupportive. You get to the point in the friendship where where you can't really tell them anything that is new and exciting in your life because they're always unsupportive, or they always have something smart or snarky to say, and they're always rude about it. Like, for example, say, hey, I'm doing a new YouTube channel, and say your friend could be like, well, everybody else is doing that. Why are you doing that? What makes you so special? And they can put ideas in your head, making you feel bad about it to where you don't want to do it. And that kind of sucks. Also, hint number three, they're usually up to no good. Yeah, they regularly partake in activities that are, morally unjust. Sometimes, we mean morally unjust, they could be, say, for example, talking crap about one of your other friends who's also a good person and causing chaos in their lives. And that's not okay either. And then they turn around and they brag about it. Once again, not okay. Number four, their values and interests are opposite of your own, meaning if they were raised with a certain set of values to where they believe homosexuality is wrong, and you're raised with a certain set of values where you believe that God loves everybody, let's just say if you're friends with somebody like that, their value systems and your value systems could mix like oil and water, and that's not a good combination. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the person who was raised right-wing conservative is wrong. It just means that they aren't the right friend for you. And God knows I've cut off many of friendships where I'm GLBT friendly, and I've cut off many of friendships because these people have talked about the people who are my GLBT friends and in a bad light, and I don't put up with it. And I usually like to be friends with people who have very similar values and interests. And that means being accepting of everybody. I can't be friends with anybody who's not accepting of anyone. Also, another sign, number five, these toxic friends are usually unreliable. Like, say, hey, you meet somebody at an event, you think, hey, this person's really cool. Let's hang out sometime. You two exchange phone numbers, Facebook accounts, MySpace, whatever. Does anybody use MySpace anymore? No, I don't use MySpace anymore, but I'm using that as an example. And you guys get to talking online, getting to know each other, or you're texting, you're like, LOL, ha ha ha, hey, that's pretty awesome. And you find out they're pretty awesome people. You think they're awesome people. But when it comes to the point to where it's like, hey, let's hang out at, say, the 4th of July blues extravaganza. They're like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun. And then you set up a date, you set up a time, you show up, but they don't. And then they usually call you about a few hours later and say, oh, I'm sorry, I have this other commitment. And apparently, after so many times of them doing that, that's a sign that you get them out of your life. Now, one time is okay, but when they do it repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, that's when you take their number from your phone book on your cell phone. You delete their Facebook account because, you don't want people in your life who are unreliable because, unreliable people suck. And also, sign number 6, they only contact you when they need something. Like, for example, you've got that friend who doesn't want to take public transit, not if he or she can help it. And they're like, hey, I'm going to Rocky tonight, but I need a ride. Or, hey, I'm going into Clackamas Town Center, but I need a ride. But they never offer you money for gas? Yeah. The only time when they call you is when they need a ride, but otherwise you never hear from them? That's not really a friend. And also, another example is like, hey, I don't have any money. Can you get me money? Can you get groceries for me and I'll pay you back? Yeah, right. And then they never call you back either. Friendship is supposed to be a two-way street, not a one-way street. So if you have friends like that who are only using you and abusing you for rides and money and any other stuff, those are the kind of friends that you need to cut out of your life too. Because if they don't say thank you at the end of the day, that's not okay. And you don't need them. And sign number 7 is they never meet you halfway. If you're always the one calling to set up and say, hey, let's go out. Hey, let's go to the movies. Or you make plans to go out of your way to be with your friend, but they never return the favor. They attempt to go out of their, they never attempt to go out of their way for you. There's a fucking problem there. I'm sorry. But once again, friendship is supposed to be a two-way street, not a one-way street. Usually, if you have to nudge that person to say, hey, let's hang out, let's do this, let's do that, it's time for you to kick them out of your life, because that's not okay. Also, it's sign number 8. The toxic friend is usually jealous of you. Usually, they're jealous of your house or your relationship or your family, the close-knit relationship you have with your parents, and they usually are the ones who have this mentality of, I want what you have and I want to take it away from you. Yeah, that's not okay either. Also, the 9th sign is these friends have zero ambition at all. Why would you want to hang around with people like that? For example, they have a lack of ambition and can be very contagious. Say, if they're lazy, they will suck you in. I knew one girl at one point who was like wanting to be a hairdresser, and then all of a sudden she got sick, and she felt better once she got the financial aid check and quit school. I'm thinking, also, that's another example of zero ambition. If you have friends of yours who go to school only for the free money and then drop out when they get their financial aid check, that's not even cool. As a matter of fact, there's a saying that goes, You can't soar like an eagle if you're hanging out with turkeys. And people like that are turkeys. Just saying. Also, another sign is they constantly drive you to moments of insanity. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They can drive you to the point to where you can imagine yourself going all Leatherface or Jason Voorhees on these motherfuckers. And you catch yourself daydreaming of how good it would feel to rip their arms out of their sockets. Yeah, I've had quite a few ex-friends like that, to where it's like, it'd be so beautiful. He just died a horrible fucking death. But, it's like, you really can't think that. You really can't. And if you have any of these signs going on with your friends in your life, they're not really your friends. They're just out to use you. And how you can end it? Well, number one, here's how you can end it. Stop responding to fake crisis calls, people, because that's how they snare you. They will, if you don't drop everything to take their, I'm so devastated, my boss will give me a look that I think it means he secretly hates me, and that jerk from marketing wore the same shirt as me calls, they will find someone else. Well, I mean, if you don't respond to their crisis call, they will find somebody else who will, and you know what? That's fine and good. Also, when they start doing negative conversations, you need to take control of the negative conversation. So it is okay to change the topic and make it positive. Talk about you, or steer the conversation away from the pity party or the self-absorbed bullshit that they usually like to do. Be willing to disagree with your soon-to-be ex-toxic friend and deal with the consequences, because I don't care. You should have this I don't care attitude. The third tip should be demonstrate that you won't be insulted or belittled. Yeah, because if you stand up for yourself, they are less likely to mess with you. And, well, sometimes they'll call you out and they'll insult you, but sometimes they'll usually say, I'm sorry you took what I said so personally, has been much more effective than ending conversations with sickening sweetness or just plain abruptness. Now, the message is clear. There is no reward for subtle digs, and no games will be played at your end. Also, another way to disarm a toxic person is to be brutally fucking honest. Some people don't even recognize their own toxic tendencies or their own inconsiderate behavior, so you need to call them out on their crap. And you can actually tell a person, I feel like you ignore me until you need something. And that just really just kind of gives them a wake-up call. Now, you can also be honest with their overly negative attitude is what's driving you away, because sometimes negative attitudes do drive people away. You can tell them, I'm trying to focus on positive things, and what's something good that we can talk about. And if they have nothing good that you can talk about, just walk away. Just do it. Just walk away. And also, if you want to completely end the relationship with the person in question, stop taking their calls. Because if you keep taking their calls, you're going to be stuck seeing them on a regular basis, and you don't want that. Also, firmly tell them you've had enough, because you don't need their drama in your life. And also, make some new friends, because it's not that hard. Seriously, give your time to friends that you connect with and enjoy. The long shadows of toxic friends shrink considerably when you've got better things to do with your own life and your own time to worry about their negativity. And so that is my rant for the day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.